Welcome back to the 69th episode of the S Gilmore Story. And today we're going to look at one of the examples of how Gilmore and the music that his band was creating was affecting America itself. We're looking at the FiSHERVILLE Brigade Band, and here the year is unknown but presumed to be as somewhere around the 1870s. FiSHERVILLE is in New Hampshire, and today it's known as Pennacook. Its leader was a man called H.C. Brown. Here's a blow-up of that stereo view photograph. And we see here that according to, for instance, the uniforms, they were most professional in their attitude. The gentleman to the left in the black uniform is presumably a leader of the brigade band, and he would be probably a Brown as well. The first time we see the FiSHERVILLE band is at the World Peace Jubilee in 1872, an event, as you know, that was created by Gilmore and organised by him. Took place between June 17th till July the 5th. And from that band, from that event, we've some of the bands that took place, including Gilmore's band, Germania band, and Brown's Brigade band, led by H.C. Brown, leader of the band, with 20 men in his roster. Why were bands so important in those days? Well, every political event, every event that took place, the band would be out to represent the town, the area, the cause, or whatever it is. And here's an example when the governor, I presume the governor of New Hampshire, Governor Prescott, will take it says the best drilled and best looking of the state troops, and at the bottom it said that Brown's band would accompany them. Brown's Brigade Band from October 1878. We don't know where that this event is, but in FiSHERVILLE or any part of rural America, there was no baseball, basketball, softball, etc. And I was lucky enough to get this scrapbook, to buy this scrapbook on the internet. And this book basically gives you some context about what Brown's band and the value of music was to the area and to the people living at the time. There's mention in this book, I don't really know why at the moment, of a Stuart Brown. Now, presumably he's one of the Brown family members and so on. But to give you an idea, 1869 was when the Cincinnati Reds were founded. 1891 basketball started. I'm actually looking at my writing here. I should have said football started 1887. If anyone has any problems with that, please let me know. From the same scrapbook, here's an example of some colour print, which was a huge development at the time. And again, an example of how important music was this particular newspaper that was started by the band and for FiSHERVILLE itself in New Hampshire. And this is from the third month, the second day. So the 2nd of March, 1876. And it's called The Staccato. What a wonderful title for a music magazine. And here's from the 5th month, another newspaper. And it says, The Staccato was published in the interest of Brown's Cornet Band. D. Arthur Brown, that's another Brown member. I don't know who this is. He's leader. And it also gives you the context of what's going on in FiSHERVILLE at this time. FiSHERVILLE is, by the name, a port. It's close to the sea, obviously. And so here is the Gloucester fisherman. Another article, our ocean steamers, what are the various lines doing for Boston? An immense export but light import trade, the Cunard Line, the steamers of the Warren and Leyland lines, the Halifax and Valparaiso lines, and a paradise, a summer trip to Labrador. Wild and romantic scenery, a glorious spectacle of icebergs. It obviously puts in perspective the later tragedy, what we now know as the Titanic. And in view of the last dreadful event, the Titan submarine, or submersible, the deep sea soundings are made. How deep was this water? That was their concern at this stage. And but to me, in this magazine or in this scrapbook, the main deal was the diary of Gilmore's European tour in detail. This was like putting a man on the moon at that stage. These guys were leaving America. They were sailing for the distant shores of Europe. They were going to play in the home of the greatest bands at that time, across Britain, France, Germany, places like Leipzig. How the genius of Mendelssohn, Schiller, Bach and Goethe have made this Saxon city famous. What would they think of our American musicians was in their minds, and how would they learn from it? And the subsequent effects of Gilmore's band's success. How did that affect the music? And we see from even those photographs how professional these guys were in those days to look like Gilmore's band. Very professional and well equipped and so on and so forth. Here's some concert programs from that period. And so we see, for instance, Brown's Cornet Band mentioned there, trio, Messrs. Brown, Courier and someone else. Here's a program from 1875, March the 3rd. And it's mainly Brown's band again. So this gives you an idea from this one town in New Hampshire, FiSHERVILLE, Pennacook today, how they viewed music. And music was also important for celebrating the important political events of the time, like the Guard, the Grand Army of the Republic, and Decoration Day. They would never forget the recent rebellion. It was only 12 years before, and very, very fresh in these men's memories. So I would say we should remember these bands of that period. May they all rest in peace. May I also suggest that the man to the left of the drum, as we view the picture, must have been the band leader or indeed a member of the Brown family itself. If anyone has any details, please email me at gilmoresband@gmail.com. Thank you very much for your time and your attention, and please click subscribe and like. Thank you. See you next week. Bye-bye.